reception of Rabbi Feinstein and Margaret and Ari, you may be seated. When we began to talk about this service to honor Morley, there was one thing that I particularly wanted to have in the service. The thing that I love the most about something that Morley does is his reading of the Torah and his interpretation then of the whatever the portion is. So we're going to have him do it, and this is a great portion. Will Morley introduce it?
So before I offer these words of Torah tonight, I just want you to imagine me as a long-haired, shaggy college student sitting in Berkeley, California in a classroom, finding out that there were actually other ways to translate the beginning of the Torah instead of in the beginning. And I was absolutely stunned. After all, I grew up a nice Jewish boy, Beverly Hills, California, Temple Emmanuel. When I opened up my Bible, it said, in the beginning. And who knew in 1973 that there was a guy named Rashi who had written in the Middle Ages trying to figure out, is this exactly how it's supposed to be translated or not? And that really began what has been for me a very long time, where I've passionately enjoyed reading these words, and I hope to share them with you this evening. But I'm going to ask for a special aliyah tonight, and that is, if you are here this evening and you were converted by me, or I did your wedding, or bar bat mitzvah, or your naming. I'm not going to go public on the circumcision, but you got the idea. Or I was involved with your family for a sad or happy event, such as a funeral or a marker dedication. Would you, and if I missed a life cycle in there, please forgive me, would you please rise? And would you join together with me? Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamorach, Baruch Adonai Hamorach leolam va'ed, Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'nahatan lanu et Torah. Just not line fly. That's it. Amen. It might be a while, so it goes. See, I think it's just. So there I was in class, and I heard these words translated anew. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. And I always thought, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. But no, that's not what Rashi said. And the new translation that came to us from the Jewish Publication Society in the late 60s and early 70s followed Rashi saying, when God began to create the heavens and the earth, and then it added what the Torah doesn't have, a little dash, as if to say the next sentence was set apart. It wasn't part of the creation, it was almost like a prepositional phrase. And who knew that the Torah even had grammar of that nature, because none of that is marked here at all. V'ha'aretz hayta tohu vavohu v'choshech al pnei tehom v'ruach Elohim merachefet al pnei hamayim. At that moment, as God began to create the heavens and the earth, big dash, and the earth was completely chaotic, and there was light. Vayar Elohim et ha'or, and God saw the light, that it was good. Goodness is at the heart of creation. Creation is not an act of evil. The very act of our creating every day in what we do, in our words, in our speech, in our deeds, in our manner, they can bring light, and light is good. Vayavdel Elohim ben ha'or uvein ha'choshech. God separated the light from the darkness. causing a great distinction, as we do when we know that there is goodness in the world that we want to accentuate, and there's evil that we hope declines. Vayikra Elohim la'or yom. God actually named the day. He called the day, the light he called day, the lachoshech kara laila, and the darkness was called Laila. Vayhi erev, vayhi voker, yom echad. And there was evening and there was morning, a first day. At that point, I learned the difference between mathematics and Torah, because there are ordinal numbers and cardinal numbers. And it wasn't Yom Rishon, as it should be, because all the rest of the days are marked in that way. One day, 2 day, 1 day, day 2, day 3, day 4. But this was a first day, Yom Echad, as if to say, every day can be the first day for us as well. And so creation begins, and creation dawns for each of us, each and every day. May I ask those of you who were standing before, please rise again. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah temet.
V'chayei olam nata b'toteinu, Baruch atah Adonai,
Noteinu
Torah.
And this feels good to do. For this is the Torah, which Moses read before the Jewish people to fulfill the word of God.
אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל, על פי אדוני ביד משה. לי 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 לי
Before we return the Torah to the Ark, we take a moment to pray for healing. The healing of those suffering from illness of body or mind or spirit, that they might find the full and complete healing they seek, a refuah shlema. And of course, there are those that we each hold in our hearts, those that we are praying for this Shabbat, not just on this Shabbat, but every day, that they find their way to healing, that we find the strength and courage to help them on their journey towards healing. And so before we turn to these words, which you'll find on the back of your Shabbat pamphlet, I invite you, if you would like to call out the names of those you are holding in your heart this Shabbat, those that you are praying for their healing. If you'll turn in your Siddur, your prayer book, to page 256, I ask that you please rise as we return the Torah to the Ark.
Please turn to page 282 for the Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hako, l'ateit gedolah le'yotzeh breshit, shalom lifnei melech malachei hamelachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Page 285, let's read together. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever in your service. Then shall your
be established on earth,
and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign.
forever and ever.
Page 289.
Are we good? We good? Why don't we close the ark so we can do this song right, okay? Please. I'm going to leave you now.
It's 287, sorry. A little rested.
Sit. I sing at a little shul a few blocks away. So this is way too far for me to be here. Besides, I wanted to be closer to my wife. So I'd like everybody to get out of their comfort zone a little. Don Galbraith said once that our job in this world is to comfort the troubled, but to trouble the comfortable. So I'd like everybody to relax their hands for a minute, put them up in the air just like this for me, okay? Just like this. On the count of 3, bring your hands together very quickly. 1, 2, 3. That is called a clap, okay? And you need that for this song, okay? Listen the first time, and then we can do it together. It goes like this. Ya da da ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da da ya da 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 ya da 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 da. You can do it in English. Ya da da ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da da ya da da ya da 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 ya da da da. Now in Hebrew this time. Ya da da ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da da ya da 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 ya da 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 da. Vayom hahu yihye Adonai Adonai echad Shemo echad. Vayom hahu yihye Adonai echad. Your turn. Vayom hahu yihye Adonai echad Shemo echad. Vayom hahu yihye Adonai echad. Now on that day, O the earth, you will reign and will know that you are one, and your name too is one. Now on that day, O the earth, you will reign and will know that you are one, and your name too is one. Right hands chorus, right? Remember the part, the hands? Yai-dai-dai-yai-dai-dai-dai. Yai-dai-dai-dai-dai-dai. Bayom ha'hu yihye Adonai, Adonai echad, Shemo echad. Bayom ha'hu yihye Adonai, yihye Adonai echad. Now on that day, oh, the earth, you will reign, then we'll know that you are one, and your name it too is one. Now on that day, oh, the earth, you will reign, then we'll know that you are one, and your name it too is one. Last time, here we go now. Yai-dai-dai, yada-da-dai-dai, yada-da-dai-dai, yada-da-da-dai-dai. Yai-dai-dai, yada-da-dai-dai, yada-da-dai-dai-dai. Yai-da-da-dai, yai-da-da-dai, yai-da-da-dai-dai-dai.
At such precious moments of joy and celebration as we have shared in tonight, we often feel most poignantly the pain of those who are not here to celebrate with us. How much we wish that those we loved could be here to celebrate such moments, to share in these precious moments. And indeed, when we call them to mind, they are here. Perhaps not physically, but we feel their presence. We feel them with us, don't we? They are there, blessing us, sharing their light with us as they did in their lives. They continue to share their blessings with us. And so as we come to the end of our worship, we'll turn to page 294, where we find not words of mourning, as many of you know, as you all know, but words of praise, words that sanctify life, words with which we remember that the best way we can remember is by sanctifying our lives, by blessing our lives, by blessing the lives of those whose lives we touch. And in doing so, we continue to bless the memories of those who walked the path of life before us. As we pause for this moment of remembrance, we remember, first of all, those who have died in recent days, those whose families are in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning. If I call out the name of your loved one, I would invite you to please rise to hear their name. Brandon Gerges, Dr. Bernard Hammermesh, Bella Izbelinskaya, Marilyn Waldman, Marilyn Stampler, and Vera Walensky. We remember as well those whose yahrzeit, the anniversary of their passing, falls on this Shabbat. As you hear the name of your loved ones, I would invite you to rise and join the mourners among us. Mir Anvar, Solomon Benton, Philip Croman, Laura Cohen, Harry Davids, Harry Ensler, Kenneth Flesch, Margot Frank, Theodore Frank, Herbert Friedman, Marion Garber, Lisa Goldberg, Walter Good, Albert Gross, Elise Kahn, Hinda Kalkstein, Suzanne Kallick, Rose Katz, Ida Koppel, Maria Kornhauser, Sandra Mandrick, Samuel Obrow, Bernard Peel, Louise Rhodes, Arthur Rosenberg, Elaine Schlossman, Ethel Sherman, Rose Sykov, Saul Spiegel, Joseph Tushin, Jack Weisblatt, and Augusta Zipperman. To each of you, we say Zichronam Livracha. May the memory of your loved one be always for you a source of blessing. We rise now in support of the mourners among us. We rise as well in remembrance of all those who have left none. And this Shabbat in particular, we rise as well for our beloved loss from Pittsburgh, whose yahrzeit falls on this Shabbat. We offer this prayer in their remembrance, in the remembrance of Rose Mallinger, Jerry Rabinowitz, Cecil and David Rosenthal, Daniel Stein, Richard Gottfried, Joyce Feinberg, Melvin Wax, Bernice and Sylvan Simon, and Irving Younger. We rise as we conclude a year of mourning. 1 year ago, 11 people went to synagogue and never returned home. We rise to honor them. We rise in body, mind, and spirit in every way we are able. We stand with the mourners, their families, their communities, and our community. We rise to stand with Pittsburgh and with Christ Church and Poway, Colombo, El Paso. We rise even as we continue to piece together our shattered hearts, and we know they are forever broken. We rise because when we are expected to cower, we will not. We rise because it is our only option in an unjust world. We rise because in an era of incitement to hate-fueled violence, we can puncture the darkness with fierce light and love. We rise because we are not alone even when we are singled out. We are stronger and safer when we stand together with all those who are oppressed. We rise because when fear threatens to close us off, we will challenge ourselves to open our minds, our hearts, and our arms. We rise because there are millions of people in need of safety and in search of freedom, and we will always stand for their rights and their dignity. We will flood the streets, the synagogues, the halls of Congress, the courtrooms with our voices, our values, and our demands for a more just and compassionate world. The world can only be repaired by connecting and building, not by destroying. And so on the yahrzeit of a day we will never forget, we rise in grief and in action, standing together against hate, united in our message of welcome and love. Let's join together. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbi, me'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ma'agala uv'izman kari ve'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mavorach le'olam ul'amei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shmei dekudsha b'richu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma ve'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru Amen. May the source of peace help us to find the peace and wholeness we each seek in our own lives, and to become a source of peace and wholeness and healing for our world. We say, Amen. Amen. Please be seated.
We now invite the co-presidents of University Synagogue, Jen Harmon and Fern Topas-Salka, for a special presentation.
Rabbi, on behalf of the congregation, Jen and I are delighted and honored to celebrate your long and loving tenure and to thank you for sharing not only your wisdom, but your family. As one of the most Hamish people one could ever hope to meet, you have always made the synagogue and your family part of each other, telling us all about your growing family, inviting us to your sukkah, and to your daughter's B'nai Mitzvah, and then helping us celebrate our families' lives.
Because you brought us study and learning, but also music, we'd like to present you with a gift of music. We got you a gift card to the Hollywood Bowl to enjoy some music. We hope you and Margaret will enjoy and remember it is given with love. Oh my God.
I'd like to begin my Yom Kippur sermon now. I'm not going to be long. I really have but 2 words, and they are thank you. My first thank you is, of course, to my family, who I love, and I'm so glad that you're able to be with me here tonight. And other family who's seated among the congregation, I'm so honored that you're here, that you've traveled in to be with me and with all of us on this evening. Secondly, I have to thank my colleagues, without whom I could not have done the work of being the rabbi at University Synagogue. For many years, we have worked together in private and in public, and I've treasured those relationships. I also want to thank our staff at University Synagogue. Can we give them a hand, please? They're often unheralded. Cruz is hiding behind the door, but he gets a special hand as well. We depend on them, and we thank them for all they do. And I especially want to thank all of the staff for creating this beautiful weekend. And then I have to thank each of you as congregants and friends, because a rabbi who is not with the community can't be much of a rabbi, can he or she? And so without a community, a rabbi can't go anywhere. A rabbi can't lead. A rabbi can't teach if there are empty seats. And a rabbi can't help the world be a better place if people aren't able to listen and perform the mitzvot necessary. I've been truly blessed to be here during these 17 years. This is my home, and it's your home, and I hope we continue to build that home together. I have more words tomorrow night. Suffice to say, thank you to our fabulous musicians, to Dennis and Max, for your beautiful, beautiful string playing tonight, to Pablo, Susan, Steve. I'm overwhelmed. I thank all of you, and I bid you all Shabbat Shalom.
I just have one very brief announcement. Actually, 2. One is there's so much stuff going on here in this community, and you will find a lot of it listed that is happening in the next few weeks in your Shabbat pamphlet. I hope you'll take it home and come and join us. I would invite you to come and join us tomorrow night, but it's sold out. So when I actually told Rabbi Feinstein that it was sold out, he thought I was telling him that he had sold out. No, that's not what I meant. You know, rabbis are always interpreting. So when you go out, there is the lattice that is right outside the sanctuary doors here, and it is filled with tributes, many of which you have made. If you would still like to, there are these tags. They look just amazingly like this one, and you can fill one out and place it on the lattice, and it will eventually make its way into a scrapbook for Rabbi Feinstein, yes? So we hope you'll take the opportunity to write a message to the rabbi.
So we're going to do one last thing this evening to honor Rabbi Feinstein, and I'm going to ask all of you guys, all the family, to please go down there with Morley and surround him. And then once they have done that, I'm going to ask anybody here who is a legitimate rabbi or cantor. You can't self-ordain yourself right now, but we kind of are looking out and we see some rabbis and cantors here. So please come and join us and surround the family. Make a circle around Morley, family.
Would you like to check my credentials?
Yeah. Now, I would like all of us to please turn to page 345. We're going to offer a blessing. It's called the Tefillat HaDerech, 345. We're going to do the top, but we're changing just a little bit of the wording. So this is a blessing to Morley. So what we're going to do is, instead of saying, may we be blessed as we go on our way, we're going to say, may you be blessed as you go on your way. May you be guided in peace. May you be blessed with health and joy. And then, since we're offering the blessing, may this be our blessing. Amen. So let's rise and let's sing.
As you go on your way, you be guided in peace. May you be blessed with health and joy. May this be our blessing. Amen. Find our way to every soul. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbos.